you deserve much better than that when you're in your 60s, when you've been working your entire life, only to have someone half your age come by and attack you unprovoked. It's crazy to me. And then in addition to that, once that attack happens, you don't get justice.
You can't rely on police to protect you. You are your own protection. I tell my clients all the time, you are your own protection. By the time you call the police, it's too late.
Lucky Boys Podcast.
Ever since this happened, I'm training a lot more Asian Americans now.
Yeah.
And how did they find you? Did they reach out to you directly?
They reached out to me directly on Instagram. They see me on YouTube. They see me on Instagram. They see me on a lot of different social media platforms.
Right.
There aren't a lot of, I guess, Asian self-defense specialists around the area. So I think I'm one of the few. So the Asian people, I guess, feel more comfortable working with another Asian person.
Do they ever share stories with you? Did something happen to them?
Yeah, some of my clients actually have been through dangerous altercations, I guess in the subway, on the street, at parties and whatnot. Some of them, physical altercations, also verbal altercations that could potentially lead to physical altercations.
I've been trying to wrap my head around this for a while, and we talk about this with different guests that come on. It's one thing where we know crime happens, and it's another thing when the crime does occur, where it's so clear to us it's a hate crime or it's a violation, and the law somehow releases the criminals, or just say we can't prove that this is a hate crime, therefore it's not, and we're going to let it go. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a whole lot of bullshit in politics,
But why is it? See, and this is what I'm trying to wrap my head around, is that
because no one, to be honest, I feel like Asians aren't really a hot topic now. So the press wants to water it down. It's not really a hate crime, just happened to be Asian. Like, no, dude, it's a hate crime.
But it's not even not even the press. It's like when we talk about politicians, district attorneys,
right?
Certain. I know police have limited power in terms of what they cannot do. They have to follow the guidelines once they book someone, right? But just the lawmakers, when they're looking at this, for example, the 2 Korean women that was attacked in Baltimore, right? Didn't they charge the person? They caught the culprit, and they let him go, and they said that it wasn't a hate crime. And what were they, 60-something years old?
Yeah, this was a stabbing, right?
Yeah. So when you attack 2 old women in their 60s, and you're a grown-ass man, and you go and stab old women or whoever, unprovoked, obviously, how is that not a hate crime? And then how do you let that person...
Well, just minus the hate crime part, how do you let that person go?
Right. It just blows my mind.
Yeah.
Since that happened, I believe some Korean lawyers came back and said, you know what, we're going to fight this case for you. Pro bono. And they stepped in. I mean, but the fact that they have to do that, right? Don't they pay taxes to the city? Right? They've been good civilians, good contributors to society. They deserve much better than that. Going into your retirement age, no matter what race you are, white, black, Asian, green, purple, it doesn't matter. Latino, like, you deserve much better than that when you're in your 60s, when you've been working your entire life, only to have someone half your age come by and attack you unprovoked. It's crazy to me. And then in addition to that, once that attack happens, you don't get justice.
Yeah. Not like justice that, a person who's being attacked should deserve. And that, I think that's why people are looking at their own way to protect themselves now. Because we can't count on...
you can't rely on the law to protect you. You can't rely on police to protect you. You are your own protection. I tell my clients all the time, you are your own protection. By the time you call the police, it's too late. And other civilians, as we have seen, will most likely will not help you because they're probably scared, or they're too busy recording it on their phones.
Yeah.
I hate the fact that what you're saying is true, and it's because it's already happened. This is what we see. This is the stories we hear, right? Where people who are victims are saying, you know what? I got hurt. like the Filipino man that was slashed across the face, and he said no one helped.
No one helped.
People just watched him. Just watched them. You know, there's just so many scenarios like this, and it kind of makes you lose faith in humanity. And I hate that it feels at times like the bad guys are winning. Like evil seems to just continue to just pile on good people who don't deserve these kinds of attacks.
That's why you have to fight fire with fire. I truly believe that. You got to fight fire with fire. You just have to be better at their game. You have to be better at violence. You know, the only way to instill fear in these evil people is if you're better at violence than them.
That's true, but that's
Yeah,
so
it's true.
tough when you have
so
people
tough.
who are just regular people, right? Like grandmas and young children. And
There's a phrase that goes, the only way to fight evil people are good men skilled in violence. A lot of Krav Maga practitioners like swear by this phrase. So all these guys committing these crimes and hurting these innocent people, they're not right in the head, you know? They're not right in the head. And a lot of them, if you study the psychology of these attackers, they enjoy hurting weaker people. They enjoy attacking. And the only way to get to them is not by talking. You can't be like, hey, please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. You can't go backwards and just beg for mercy. You have to bring the fight to these motherfuckers.
How do you do that?
You know?
How do you do that if
you have to weaponize? You have to weaponize yourself. You have to train. You have to train self-defense. You have to weaponize your mind, weaponize your body. Right. You know, practice self-awareness. You know, situational awareness.
Right.
You know, if you are not at this day and age, if you are not taking your personal safety into your own hands, you are not a responsible adult. Especially if you are a parent and you have kids and you're not training and taking your personal safety seriously, you're playing with fire. You're not taking your life that seriously. It broke my heart. I saw on the news recently how the Asian man, do you remember the Asian man who was attacked with this kid? He couldn't
toddler.
do it. Yeah,
toddler in the stroller. Yeah,
toddler in the stroller. And he said on TV, I couldn't do anything to protect myself and my kid. How shameful is that? How sad and how pathetic is that?
Should he feel shameful?
Yes, he should. The fact that he couldn't do anything to protect his kid and himself. It's not his fault that he was attacked, but he should have done something. The fact that he said, I didn't know what to do. If you are a father, if you're a grown-ass man, you should know what to do if someone attacks you.
Your job is to protect.
Your job is to protect and provide.
That's a tough reality that I think a lot of people are facing.
And listen, if you don't know how to protect yourself, that's totally fine. At least carry a weapon with you.
And that's the thing.
At least carry a weapon with you, or travel with your homies.
But there's tough gun laws and tough
exactly.
knife
you don't have to have
in some of these cities. And the city where he was attacked, and it's pretty. You can't. They're not friendly. It's not like Florida and Texas where you can carry a gun and a knife.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about gun and knife. I'm talking about maybe a walking stick. Yeah, you know, maybe a walking stick or a little.
Let's bend the law a little bit.
You know,
this isn't a baseball bat.
Yeah,
this is
maybe
a walking
like, maybe your knee is hurting a little bit, and you want to
staff that's like this big, and then I press a little button, it just extends.
Or you can carry a pocket knife, you know, like as long as it's not, you know, this small in the width of your hand. You know, like you create a little room, breathing room to scare away the guy. You know, just anything. Or if you don't want to fight yourself, you don't want to train, you better travel with friends who are willing to fight for you on your behalf. You know, I advise all my Asian friends, if you don't know how to defend yourself, or if you're not willing to defend yourself, travel with people who are willing to fight. Right. You know, it's so sad. Like, I feel like we're going back in time. You know, I've been bullied since I was a kid, you know, early 90s. I'm sure you guys got bullied early 80s. And I thought we're past this point.
So did I.
I thought we're better than this as a society, but we're going back in time now, it seems, and it's worse than ever.